Hello, I'm David Hunt. You remember me from The Art Hunter. Yeah, well, here I am. This is a special where we don't do this very often, so this is how special this is. This is the set of The Grinning Man here at the Alex Theatre. And wow, what a show it is. I wanted to do something a bit special on this because it's such a good musical. It's from the West End in London, award-winning over there. We've got it before Broadway's got it here at the Alex Theatre in Australia. So this is a behind the scenes look. We'll be talking to the executive producer, the director, the actors, all behind the scenes, and some of the wonderful live footage of the production. This is a must-watch, people, so sit back, relax, and enjoy behind the scenes of The Grinning Man at the Alex Theatre.
In a world of inescapable misery!
Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, Alex, tell us the journey of the Alex Theatre. Where did it all start for you?
Yeah, look, it started over 10 years ago, and it started very simply. It was a producer called Malcolm Cook approached me one day and said, look, he picked up a book I had and said, look, we should make this into a musical. And I laughed. I thought, I wrote that book a long time ago. It's how do you do that? And he turned up with a script 6 months later, and I thought it was fantastic. And I said, well, we need to find a venue. And then we couldn't find a professional venue that was independent, that we could do really what we were hoping to be a 5-star show in. And then we came upon this building, and it was the old Palace Cinemas. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I'll just take it over. I'll rent it, and I'll put a couple of seats in. And it turned out that, after 6 months we'd spent so much money we had to buy it, which we did, and then we had to buy the front to put more space in for the audience to quell, and that's how it started. It was a show called Sexercise, a musical, and that kicked us off. So we thought we'd have our own venue. Little did I know it was going to go on as long as it did, yeah. But because we bought the venue, but then it came to head that I wanted to build a theatre that was affordable. I mean, we got shows in the city which are fantastic, and you can't, some of the prices are very high. And I thought, well, people would love to see a 5-star show, but they can't afford. Yep. Some people can't afford $300 a ticket, $250 a ticket, $190 a ticket. What do we do? And I thought, well, to make it more affordable, the theatre has to be less expensive for the producer. And that's how the Alex came about. Was that we were trying to produce shows that were under $100, between the $50 and $100 mark per ticket for a professional show. And there's lots of people producing small shows, but they couldn't afford the comedies and the Regent Theatre. They just can't afford those theatres, yeah. Because what they'd be paying there in a day, they're paying here in a week. Yeah. And also, whether they fill it or not, it's another issue. They're marked, and the risk is too high for them financially to do a show in a big theatre. And I've produced in those theatres. I've produced in the Regent, I've produced in all those things, and I know what it's like. I've had shows in there for 16, 18, 20 weeks at a time, and it's very, very pricey. Yeah. But for someone starting out, they can't afford it. And that's what we opened the 3 theatres: the studio, which can seat up to 150, 180, the second one which is up 280 to 300, and this one that we're sitting in now, which is close to 500 seats, right. To give people a variety of theatre venues. Yeah. I mean, we haven't got the big fly towers, and we're a smaller theatre, but what we've got is a beautiful ambience and a wonderful feeling of closeness when you're in the show. You can sit anywhere in this theatre and feel like you're part of the show. Yeah. There's a great line in Grinning Man that Anthony says, Derrimore says, I feel like I'm in the play, as he stands up in the audience. I feel like I'm in it, and that's what you feel like when you're in the audience. You want to be close, you don't want to be out of touch.
I agree.
Prepare yourselves for a tale so utterly horrid and yet so strangely uplifting.
I've been producing here in Australia for about 5 years now.
Okay.
And
where are you from?
I'm from Toronto originally, from Toronto, Canada. Yeah. Yeah. And a dear friend and colleague that I met along this journey so far is Miranda Middleton, who is the director of The Grinning Man. And Miranda, a couple of years ago, brought The Grinning Man to my attention. I took a listen and did my background research and thought, oh my God, this show is absolutely stunning and like nothing I've ever known before. So when I started working here at the Alex and started curating shows to start building out seasons, I brought The Grinning Man to Alec Vass's attention, and he fell in love with it too. And his whole family were kind of hooked. So we kind of went, let's do this. Let's make this happen. Yeah. And I guess pre-production started very shortly after that, so about a year ago now.
That all your earthly woes will be riddled with worms of unspeakable joy.
Alan, my general manager, introduced me to Ash, and he said, look, Alex, you've got to meet Ash. I wanted to come on board and work with us in our team. And I said, yeah, because we suffered greatly through COVID, of course, like everyone else did. We were closed for 2.5 years. Saying that, we invented some other things we were doing here, but it doesn't pay the way, as we know. But Ash came along, and the first thing she bought me was the Grinning Man. And I'm a lover of the arts and theatre, and as an ex-performer and producer, I look for those gems. And the Grinning Man was that gem. You just got to get that. And when I listened to it, and I listened to it, and I listened to it, it was one of those things. I know that if I remember a number, other people are going to remember a number. But it was those numbers that caught you that you want to listen to again and again. It's a show that I think suited our theatre. And Ash, but the way she presented the show was absolutely fabulous. It's a smaller cast who perform multiple tasks. Yep. I mean, if you look at the cast, you're watching the leads also in the ensemble. At any other time, if they're not playing the leads, they're doing other parts in the show, and that's absolutely fantastic. That's what's called an ensemble show, of course. But after I heard it, after I saw it, and then we went to casting, I knew then that this was an amazing show. I actually knew before, because it's a gut feeling, and I knew that it suited the theatre. And then the hardest thing was having someone that worked with me that could do the job. You know what? It's the old thing about, as a producer, have you lost money in a show? Because when you've lost money, you know what a show's about. And I've lost money in lots of shows, and I made money in lots of shows. Yeah. You know, as far as Fiddle on the Roof with Topol, I've produced here and around the world, and other shows on that calibre. And I've lost, once upon a time I had Hair on at the Athenaeum, Three Guys Naked on at the Universal, and Amadeus opening at the Comedy. One was making money, one was losing money, one was breaking even. So overall we broke even, all at the same time, so this. But also it's finding the partner that can work with you. So Ash and I clicked immediately, because we are a love of theatre, not only love of theatre, but Ash understands there's a business in show business. And people have to understand that you can be the best producer in the world, the new producer in the world, but you have to understand there's a business in what you do, and the consequences are, how do you pay for the thing? Where does the money come from, you know? And I knew that Ash had been through a number of shows in which she's done well and not well, and which we all have, and she understands what it is, and she understands that every dollar counts. And so it's been wonderful to work with her, because she's on that level of she's done enough shows and been a performer and been a director and been we've all done everything. We've been multi-talented. I've been in shows where I've made sets, made costumes, gone on stage without costumes in a major show because they were in the wings still being supplied. We've seen it all.
We built our team, I would say, probably starting around May or June of last year, and then we started casting at the beginning of spring, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. And it all happened very quickly. I feel like a year is a long time, but it feels like no time at all that we finally made it to opening night, and I'm over the moon with how the show has gone and the reception that we're getting, and our company as a whole, the cast, the creative team are so happy, and they're loving every minute of it.
So after the break, you're going to see some of the live show, and we'll be talking to the director, the actors. This is special. Come back.
Is this the truth now? Everyone who sees him is amazed.
Within this script, there are lots of beautiful, exciting images to play with. There's the idea of truth versus dream and reality versus illusion, the idea of being broken and beautiful at the same time. So the amazing Sophie Woodward and I began our chats collecting images and lyrics and reference images, and from there we're starting to build out our theatrical world. As a director, I believe deeply in the power and the potency of cradling a story within the right theatrical world, and we feel like we've just had a breakthrough and we've cracked this broken, beautiful world, actually drawing some inspiration from German Expressionism. And interestingly, there is a silent film based on Victor Hugo's novel that is made in a German Expressionistic way. So it's cool that we're tapping into the imagery of that world. To hold this show, there are going to be immersive elements. We really want to invite the audience into the carny, magical world of Trafalgar Fair, and allowing our design to take us on a journey as we follow Grinning, our lead character, uncovering the pain of his past and finding the beauty within that truth.
Please don't take my mother. Don't take her across the sea.
So we spent yesterday in our callback auditions
We did.
searching for a cast 10 strong. that can wear many hats. We need incredibly strong singers, movers, physical theatre storytellers, puppeteers, musicians. We were really asking and looking for a lot yesterday.
We are. The most incredible thing, though, through all of that, through all of the big asks, is we had this incredible collection of performers that we got to spend the entire day with yesterday, who absolutely blew our minds. And the process of finding and I guess really assembling, like piecing together the right team, you know, we want to make sure that they're not just exceptional performers, but as people, as humans in the space, in the room, we want to make sure that they connect on many levels. And we're also really looking to kind of create that, I guess, left of center world.
Absolutely. I think The Grinning Man is such a heightened world. It demands a level of virtuosic performance from the cast. And so, and kind of the vitality of theatre, I think, is what makes it still exciting and important in the age of Netflix and cinema. So we just want our audiences to revel in the liveness of their performances and the grit and the heart and the pain and the joy. And so yesterday we were in our auditions, we were really looking for those humans and performers that went above and beyond and put everything, every ounce of their bodies and beings into the music and the script.
And it pops, you know, the moment they kind of release themselves into the space. It just, there's an immediate connection there as the observer, as the audience, and they're gonna blow our minds. So excited.
You have mended, your gift of love has given me life.
So Aaron is going to be using lighting and some projection to help us shift between different worlds within the story and also bring alive, I think, the history of entertainment. So the fact that we're staging this show in the Alex Theatre, which was once a cinema, and the advent of cinema was happening at, you know, kind of similar times to when the novel was being written is really interesting to us. So we just want to whip out all of the old school theatre magic, like follow spots and old school projection to enchant the audience. I think that's really my super objective as a director telling this story. I felt so enchanted by the original production, and so working as a team through the music, the beautiful music, which will be brought to life by David Ewings, and movement by Freya List, and this lighting design by Aaron Murray, and all held in this world created by Sophie Woodward. I just think what we're aiming to do as a creative team is to enchant the audience with the story, and I think that's the biggest gift to audiences at the moment when life and reality is really dark.
Grin Payne is the protagonist, and he's tragically had his face, his mouth cut into a permanent smile, and has to take medicine that makes him forget things to not feel the pain of the injury.
That's the one thing I cannot give you because I am not queen! That power now resides with the coldest, wettest fish in the land.
I think audiences are going to receive this show with massive intrigue and massive heart as well, because I think at the heart of the show is belonging, and I think people are going to leave this show feeling like, well, I hope that they leave with warmth and they leave with a newfound connection to the piece.
But farther together, strong as the wind, a shattered heart.
I think the thing I'm most excited about is just sinking my teeth into this role. It is such a amazing, big role. Like, it's one of those roles that they don't come up that often, and when they come up, it's just such a exciting thing to get to do it.
Never gone away. What happens next, Father?
Beauty has to tell the beast she loves him.
I love
I know as well that overseas there are really big like cult followings around this show, so I can only hope that people will develop that same love that I know that I have for musicals that I go and watch one time and then I just become obsessed with. So yeah, I hope that they fall in love with it.
It's quite a unique score in the way that it's written. It's not your sort of standard musical theatre fare. It's a bit of a combination of Sweeney Todd, Jesus Christ Superstar, Les Mis, all those kinds of things, and a bit of sort of David Bowie and Tom Waits in there as well. So it's going to be really exciting to bring it to life.
My liturgy of laughter was a rough and ready creed. This is like a whirling Suffolk dervish dancing speed. I've got a funny feeling in my hand.
Not only is this a new work in Australia, but the team that's putting together is really passionate about the story, so how we can translate that from the production that's already happened and keep the bones of it whilst putting our own spin on it. And I know that the team is really passionate about this show, which is really inspiring. So yeah, I think I'm just most excited as to letting these visions and passion come to life and fruition.
Come and get your tickets to the biggest hit in town. Soon you won't remember how you live without this clown.
My favourite thing about the score is that it's such a kaleidoscope of different sounds. I mean, within the style of the music, we've got everything from like some bluesy numbers to things that are quite classically written and sort of romantic in that sort of style like that. And then also within the orchestration, there's such a different combination of sounds that have been put together. We've got strings, we've got pianos, we've got reed instruments and all different kinds of percussions and bags of teeth in the orchestration, and then, you know, vintage synths from the 60s. And it's this big, this kaleidoscope of sound. It's all going to come at you at once.
And all down to me, that's right, little boy, a moment of joy. Today I am only a clown.
In this show in particular, I think what's really exciting about choreography is that it will help to set the tone. There are a lot of dark themes, there's the themes of circus, and I just think that means for me that we need a lot of characters that are really in their body and they tell stories physically, not just through the wonderful book and score that we have. So it's kind of that extra piece of how we can set tone, how we can tell a story, how you relate to others in a space. I think that says so much as well. And just having that awareness, and you give so much off. And sometimes audiences know what they're seeing, and sometimes it just helps subconsciously tell a story that they might not even realise worth telling.
If anyone here has any just cause as to why this man and this woman should not be joined in holy matrimony, may they speak now, or forever hold their peace. I have just cause.
At its core, The Grinning Man is a story about a young man called Grinning who is discovering the truth about who sliced his face into a permanent bloody grin. So it's darkly whimsical, I like to say, this show, and that's the kind of theatre that I'm excited by, the kind of theatre I love to see, the theatre I love to make. It's going to have immersive elements. We're going to be activating the entire theatre. We've got some actor-musicians. There's going to be an element of puppetry, projection, and we just have an extraordinary team around us to bring this mad, carny world to life.
Is this the truth? Is this the truth now? Everyone who sees him is amazed.
But I know it's a special story, and I know it's a special show, and so I hope people are open to whatever that is that they need to take from it.
And it truly is going to be this beautiful, almost immersive experience from when the audience is led into the theater and the world that immediately envelops them and surrounds them. We couldn't have a better team on board. They're so passionate. They think outside the box, and everything that we've seen so far has really blown our minds.
Hallelujah! In all my days, I have never smiled like I smile to.
I think the general reaction has been hugely positive, and also I feel like people have been don't know if amazed is quite the right word, but it's such a different show, and the approach that we've taken on the show as a whole, including our inclusive casting and casting some performers with disabilities, including Lily Kaskin, who was born blind, has been quite a special experience. And I think the media has really taken that on and acknowledged the steps we've taken to make this show accessible and something that everyone can see a little bit of themselves in.
It was incredible. I love the story, the talent, and I'm all about supporting local, so it's great to see everyone coming together and to see so many people coming on opening night. I know that tickets will sell out, so I would definitely suggest people to go in and buy the tickets now before they sell out. It's just so heartwarming to see the messages and to see the kind of people that no matter what hardship you go through, you can push through it, you can find someone that you can be along your side all the way. So it's a really beautiful story, and I definitely recommend it.
It was amazing also to see such a diverse cast on stage, having authentic portrayals of visually impaired people on stage. It was actually, very powerful.
It was all about kindness and relating to each other, so that we're all going through a similar journey in life, and that relating to each other on that beautiful level of kindness is what's going to get us through, and I really felt that through the production.
Freaking hilarious. I think I was laughing the loudest in the audience. Every moment was just colourful and loud and hilarious. It was just definitely worth seeing.
I thought they handled the material so well. It was really beautifully put together. Really high production values, and the calibre of the cast was so high.
It was really good. I mean, everyone, all of the characters laid. I mean, how do you even choose your best character if everyone is so good? It was fun, yeah.
The singing was incredible. Yeah. You know, some of the belty notes. Again, it's just a smallish theatre, 450-seat theatre, but it was able to be projected through the entire theatre, and it resonated. It was just super powerful, and I encourage everybody to go see a show like this.
A ridiculously funny show. It's very satirical, lots of dark humour, incredible voices, a really good night out.
There was a moment where I grabbed Lara's arm. I was like, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Everyone's vocal abilities was just top notch. The production, everything was just like top notch. It was amazing. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be recommending it to everyone. To be honest, it was so beautiful.
You're gonna go through all the emotions, love and the macabre and everything. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was really, really good. It was bizarre.
It was awesome. The cast was amazing. Very good show.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, it was really clever, really funny.
Very well done.
Yeah, original, great.
So good. It's been my dream musical to see for ever since it first started in first production. I was like, oh my god, I need to see this the second it comes to Australia. So very happy.
Thought the show was absolutely brilliant. I'm coming back again tomorrow night and the next night to see it. I loved it so much.
It was awesome. Incredible show.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the show before, but I knew it was going to be amazing based on cast alone. So I did in fact come from Sydney, and I'm here the next couple nights as well.
Oh my gosh, it was absolutely wonderful. The characters were so wonderfully embodied and realised. You fully believed everyone in their performance. It was absolutely spectacular to watch.
The clown.
The clown, definitely the clown.
So funny.
He was
so
really
funny.
good.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a grown-up pantomime in a lot of ways. I loved it with all the comedy and the clowns and stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun, yeah.
I loved the clown. Very funny.
Yeah, we're really glad we came. We had a great time.
It's silly. It's not something I've really seen in Australian music theatre before, which is exciting. It's nice to have something different and new that is showcasing some awesome talent.
Survive in a cruel world, but dreamers like you carve ships out of wood.